Well, good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. Today is Wednesday, and it is day 3. And let me just make sure it's Wednesday. I'm pretty sure it is Wednesday. And today we have the tilers on site. They're upstairs doing their thing. I worked with them this morning. I cut out the rest of those Turkish trim tiles to give the perfect width, the perfect height, and that perfect 45-degree angle for the corners of that, for the niche up on the second floor. They liked how I did the first set, and we have no room for errors, so I went ahead and cut those for the guys. They're perfect, and they'll be mounting that today. So by the end of the day, I should be showing you 2 full niches that at least have the trim on the outside completed. Now, something I found out was I ran out of the travertine tile for the liner on the inside. That we won't be using that, so I have to come up with another option. Now, over my shoulder, you can hear the generator running. I didn't realize today we are in a 12-hour brownout again. I should have realized it because it's on my calendar, but I didn't put a reminder on there. We have 2 more today, and I think it's the 30th, which is like 4 days from now. We have a 12-hour brownout scheduled through our local utility company, Bodelec 2, and that's to do some upgrade services of some of the service poles along the main highway out there. But we have electricity because we have the generator, but I need to get that oil changed pretty soon because I've already exceeded the maximum recommended hours before that first oil change, so I need to get that done. Well, today's going to be kind of a twist. It's going to be a different episode, and you'll see why in just a minute. So, without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Well, I told you today was going to be a different episode than we normally do on a regular build here. We're going to still do some of the build here. We're going to continue to watch them doing the tiling upstairs, and I doubt later on this afternoon I'm going to get too much into that table project that I'm working on down in the basement. That's probably going to have to wait until tomorrow because there are 2 things that we have going on today that we don't normally do on a day-to-day basis, but we do it on occasion. And today we have some visitors that are visiting us, and we also have something scheduled for later on in the afternoon. We have an event going on here. There was an invitation for a company to come, a water purification company to come and do some tests of the water in our subdivision, do a test of our local community bottled water, do an analysis, and also to give some recommendations on what they offer in the ways of water purification. And these folks are coming down from Manila. Now, I don't know the name of the company yet. All I know is we're going to be doing the event here. One reason is because there's a brownout, a 12-hour brownout, like I explained earlier, in this subdivision, in this community, in this part of Lipa, because of the upgrades. And so, which means that they would have no electricity over in the clubhouse where it was originally going to be done. Since we have the generator here, I offered the use of Feliz for them to do the presentation here today. So hopefully that will be an interesting and an informative presentation. But that is in the afternoon. But right now we have some visitors here, and I'm going to introduce them. And they are Dennis and his wife Flor, and they're from Tanawan. I always get that name mixed up a little bit. Oh, and we also have Ness here. Ness here is joining us, and she's been chatting with this lovely couple here this morning as well. So anyway, I'm just gonna do what I normally do. I'm just gonna ask you guys a few questions, make the YouTube audience part of our little gathering here today. So anyway, Tanawan, you guys are from Tanawan. Well, actually, let's do the whole story. You have a house in Tanawan. Is your family from Tanawan, Flor?
No, from Zamboanga.
Oh, okay, all right. So why did you guys pick Tanawan to build your house?
We connected with some people who are friends of friends who brought us to this person that had some land for sale. We went out and looked at it. We fell in love with it immediately, and we made an offer, which was accepted. and there we go. And actually, we haven't started building our house yet, which is why I got so interested in James' wonderful videos. And you know, we're just getting set. We actually had a first meeting with an engineer yesterday, so we're getting set to embark on this road also. Nothing nearly as grandiose as Villa Feliz, but we're going to like what we end up with.
Well, anyway, it doesn't matter the size of the house. It matters all the love that's put into the house,
That's exactly right.
and what you plan on sharing it with your family and friends as well. So tell us a little bit about the house, about the design. How did you come up with the architecture, and give us a little bit of an idea of what the design is going to look like.
A number of years ago, soon after we got married, we lived in the town of Binyan, which is a few more towns north. And we're renting a house in a subdivision there, and fell in love with the design. It was a very simple design, where all the bedrooms were kind of on a split level, up about 1.5 meters from the ground level, and very simple, just kind of a rectangle with things in good places. And we said, well, let's just design something like that. So I did a layout which kind of swapped a couple of things based on the layout of our lot that we bought, and there you have it.
And your lot, how many square meters is your lot, and how many square meters is your house going to be?
The lot is 500, and the house without the garage is about 130. Maybe 132, something like that, square meters.
Okay, that's pretty nice size, because 500, that's a good size for a lot of it, because you know a lot of the lots, when you look, especially in the developed subdivisions around here, some of the smaller ones, a lot of the lots are really about 100 to 150 square meters.
Yeah.
So your house alone is going to be bigger than a lot of the lots. So that's not a small house. That's a pretty nice size house.
Yeah, plus we're going to have a 1.5 car garage for the car, and then for a workbench, and similar to James's basement here.
Basement.
And have a big garden on one end of the lot, and we'll have a nice lawn. My wife's always said she wanted grass, she wanted a nice lawn,
Flowers.
so got to give her that.
Well, Flora, what kind of stuff are you going to grow inside your garden?
Flowers.
Flowers?
Front yard is flowers, and backyard are some vegetables.
Okay, some vegetables. You know what we'll have to do? We'll have to swap out some vegetables, because we're going to be doing vegetables here too. Pretty soon, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Now
there's actually nothing quite as satisfying as eating something you've grown.
Absolutely, and we're going to do a neat segment after the Villa Feliz build is complete. We're going to do something. It's going to be garden to stove to dinner. We're going to do with some recipes. We're going to show people how to do some recipes, pull some of the fresh produce out of the garden, and all the way to the plate. So I think that'll be pretty interesting as well.
Very nice, yeah.
Ness has some great recipes. She's one of the best cooks, one of the best cooks I've ever seen.
Excited.
So anyway, Dennis, the other thing, something I always ask everybody, if you've been watching any of the episodes, I don't know when we started doing the interview. Well, from the very beginning, I think, when we started building Villa Feliz, we started getting guests come here. But we always ask one question to every couple that comes here, how they met. So how did you guys actually meet each other?
We met on...
Online.
Yeah, online. It was
Cakewalk.
it was kind of a service run by a guy out of Hawaii called Cherry Blossoms. It was your typical meet a foreign girl. And we hooked up on there and started chatting, and about 2 weeks later I was in Manila, and about 6 weeks later we were married.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a little bit of lightning.
But that's a common theme, though. That's a common theme. A lot of the online, whether it be a chat or a service or something like that, and it seems to work really well. And you guys seem to be a wonderful couple. It seems like the matchup worked out really good for you. How many years have you guys been married?
We're sneaking up on 13. 13 in April.
Wow, wonderful. You're currently living in the U.S., but you're going to be retiring over here after you get the house built over here. So you are living in Minnesota?
Yeah, Rochester, Minnesota.
Minnesota. And what do you do for a living over in Minnesota?
I am a computer consultant working at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester. And I've been doing it for sneaking up on 39 years, so it's been a good career.
Yeah.
But I want to have a new career of doing nothing.
I'm looking forward to that too one day, but I don't know if I'll ever be able to do nothing.
Well, there's a difference between doing nothing and doing nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing when it's doing stuff you want to do is nothing. Nothing is when you don't have to do what you did for the last 30 years.
And Flor, do you work, or is your full-time job keeping Dennis straight?
You got that right on the nail.
Full-time keeping.
You're full-time, okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to sit here and chat a little bit longer with these guys. It looks like 11:08, and you know I think it's 1 o'clock this afternoon when we're going to have our invited guests from the community to meet up with those folks from Manila from the water purification. Yeah, water purification. I guess it is. And everybody is going to meet here for the water purification presentation. And I'm extremely interested to find out what the quality of the water we have from our well and also from the local water supplier that gives us the bottled water. I've always wondered about that, whether it is something that they just pour water into a bottle, or do they actually do something like reverse osmosis, or what type of filtration and what content is inside there. So that should be a pretty interesting afternoon. So anyway, thank you guys for coming and visiting us here today, and have a safe trip back, which is not very far because you guys are kind of like neighbors for us.
It's only about an hour.
So anyway, when you are in the Lipa area, please stop by, and maybe we'll do some cookout in the backyard once I get that grill fired back up again.
Sounds like an absolutely great idea.
All right, we'll be back in just a little bit. All right, well, it's halftime here, and I know somebody's going to catch that, like they caught them missing these decorative tiles here that wrapped around from this part of the wall. Now, I originally wanted the same decorative tile to follow the same pattern inside here. This row should have been decorative tile all the way around, but I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it like it is. And because with that decorative tile on the accent of the Turkish trim, it might be a little bit too much going, it might be too busy. So I think I'm going to let them get away with this mistake. I think in the long run, I think it'll look better without that decorative tile on the inside. So as I promised you, we're doing something a little bit different here today. I told you we have some folks coming in from Manila, and they're going to do some water testing on our local water supply. We have a water supply that we have coming in from the local subdivision, which is well water that's stored, and it's also treated. They do a little bit of chlorination from what I understand. Also, we're going to choose some of the water that we have from our local water vendor right here. I'm not going to tell you who the local water vendor is because we can't do it for legal reasons. But this is it's a local company, and we're going to test the water to see if the water that we're even getting in from our local, supposed to be purified water company, if it's actually good. And we're going to look at the contents of the water and see if there's any impurities inside. Now, when we do the testing from the water from our subdivision, we're not going to go through our house because remember, Villa Feliz has triple filtration system here. Remember, we have a sediment filter, we have a water softener, and we have a charcoal filter. So it doesn't really do any good to do any testing once it's gone through all of my filters because we've already negated some of the bad stuff that might be in there. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the water supply directly from the source. We're going to take the water from the water bib on the outside of the house that goes through no filtration system. We'll take the garden hose off so that we don't get any impurities from the plastic inside the hose. We'll get it directly from the PPR pipe that comes directly from the water, the water supply here in the subdivision. So what I want to do in just a minute, as soon as our folks here that came down from Manila, as soon as they're ready, they introduce themselves and to tell us the services that they provide and the product that they have here that does water purification.
My name is Richard.rombaoa. Actually, previously I was a banker, but I do this now a business full time. So now I just shows a very simple demonstration on what kind of water are we drinking, as possibly we are drinking. So actually, we have three kinds of water that maybe possibly drink. First is the tap water, or the what we call it, water from the with chlorination with chlorine. This is your water directly from your faucet on ano tawag dyan? Faucet. Yeah. So this is a chlorine tester actually.
Okay.
So why the government uses chlorine? Because to disinfect. But it's no chlorine. Actually, your water has no chlorine.
No chlorine.
Yeah. But because you mentioned already, because you have already 3 filtration systems, we are still not sure if it's safe to drink, okay, or is it safe to put in our to use in cooking, because of course, since in Lipa there are a lot of farms, maybe we have also contaminations from pesticides.
Let's go ahead and test the water from outside, from the water bib. We'll grab a sample of that and just see if indeed we have no chlorine coming in, or if my system is dechlorinating the system. We'll try that next, all right?
Okay. Okay, this is thin enough. But let's see if your subdivision has chlorine. So if it turns yellow, it has chlorine.
Oops.
There is.
Oh, there is.
There is.
There is. Because
There is.
light yellow.
Oh, yeah.
So there is chlorine.
There is chlorine.
Yeah,
But
not that strong.
Not pure.
Yeah. Second water that we might be drinking is up with what we call dead water, or the one we bought from the water refilling station. The process is reverse osmosis, wherein all the minerals and electrolytes and even the oxygen of the water, nutrients of the water, naturally is removed. So this is also like that. This is a distilled water, very famous brand. So it's blue. Yeah. So you guess what is this? And we will get, it's still closed, diba? Sealed. Then this one. So now we will test. Yeah. So bottled water po. So this is very famous. So now we will test if it still has mineral. So very clean but no mineral. So what is the implication of what is the negative or side effect of that? This is a mineral tester. So if it turns violet, means it has minerals. So let's see if this brand has minerals. Konti na lang. So ibig sabihin wala po siya. There is no mineral content. Then also this one is from your this is what you drink, sir, di ba? So this is also from reverse osmosis. There is no mineral at all. So this is what we call dead water, and it's very, very acidic. Oops. Wala na siya. So it doesn't turn blue.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. So wala na siyang laman. Wala na ito, wala na sauce to it. Sinabi ko na. Yeah.
Really no.
Yeah, it's still blue. Yeah. So if it's a mineral water, it should be turned violet. Because our water treatment, now I'm presenting you our water treatment. It has actually 3 major functions. First, it filters. It filters all 160 contaminants, including lead, asbestos, mercury, and all the industrial and hospital waste that is present in our water system. So why? And of course, we cannot just say that. We have a certification from NSF. So NSF is National Sanitation Foundation. It's a third-party, very high-integrity company in the U.S. that certified certifies all the even medical supplies and even the water. Our filter can filter, one filter can filter up to 5,000 liters. And it will alarm once it's already used up. Most of the people that has filtration, they don't know when they need to change the filter. So, but this one has a brain. Yeah.
This one is the brain as an indicator.
Yeah. So, but it is
It has a brain.
yeah, it has a brain. This is the brain.
brain.
And we use e-couple technology, a wireless technology. So, so this is actually the brain, and this is the head, and this is the lock.
The lungs.
Lock, yeah. This is the kidney, the big kidney. Yeah, this is the filter.
That would be your third kidney.
Yeah. So this is also filter, the cover, but inside is a carbon black filter. So I was, which is 0.2. Again, it's a 0.2 micron. So this is actually the, when you,
You get a
it's 300 times smaller than our human hands. This is the indicator. If it's already turned red, it's time for you
to
change the filter, and it will also alarm.
Okay, so what you're,
Yeah,
oh, I see. So what this
yeah.
does, this connects to your
Then-
faucet. This doesn't go under your,
We
not
also
under
have
your. So we showed the filtration process. We showed the actual device that the company here has to sell. Now, I just want to give you an example of what happened with one of our friends here who went through the process, who has a business, and they're testing of their system because they need to have water inside their business. It was failing until they used the eSpring system. So I'll let her explain it. I'll let her introduce herself, and she can explain a little bit about the fail and then the pass once she started using the eSpring.
Hello, I'm Agnes. I'm the wife of Rainier, the owner of our business that we put up near in the town here in Lipa City. And then we started the business month of May, and then we need to have the business permit, mayor's permit, everything, but we always failed with the exam because one of the requirements is to have this sanitation permit. Under sanitation permit, it should pass the water analysis of our source of our water there. As you can see here, this one is our first try, and it shows that there's a lot of bacteria, E. coli. It's more than 6,005. It should be less than 8. They require less than point.
Philippine standard.
Yes, the Philippine standard. And this is the name of our company, Musical Greenhouse Music School. And then we cannot afford because May already, and it's already coming around, it's August, and we are still failed. Then when I encounter this problem, I just tell to them, these people from the eSpring, but I don't know eSpring yet. I just tell them my problem encountering this one because I cannot get the permit. So by accident, they share with me this eSpring. So when when they show to me how good this eSpring, and I'm really convinced and good, it's good also for my health. It can be a good source of water, not only for water, everything that we will be using at home. So very fast. You can see here it's August 1. And then after deciding that we take this eSpring, I asked to have the exam again August 30. And then we already passed. And you see the result, less than 1.1. So from more than 8 or 6,500, it become less than 1. So you see the difference. That's why
It's amazing.
I want to share this good news. That's why here in my neighbor and my friends here in our subdivision, I told to share this one because this one is really a good thing to protect our health.
Well, that was a great example of the efficiency and how the system actually works, and from testing results you can see. Thank you guys for coming and visiting and sharing that with us on My TI Dream today. All right, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Now, if you are interested in that eSpring system that Richard demonstrated for us today, I will post a link in our description block, and you can contact him by phone number or email. So anyway, today is it's going to be a short video, mainly because we had the guest earlier this morning and we had the demonstration this afternoon, and I had to do some cleaning up before I could entertain any of those folks that came here today. So that took up most of my day, pretty much all of my day. I still have to make a run. I just found out, the guys just told me upstairs doing the tiling that they need an 1¼ diamond cut blade for the tile to be able to cut the hole in there for us to get the access to the PPR connector, you know, for the handheld shower. I have a 1 inch, but I don't have an 1¼ inch, and I don't think a 1 inch is going to be big enough. I think that was the problem with the one that was done also down inside the first floor. So that means another quick trip for me over to probably Wilcon. I could probably get it at some other places, but I know Wilcon has it. So I'm going to make a quick run this evening for that, so they have it for tomorrow, because they're at the point of putting those tiles in at that location. Oh, I also have one birthday shout out today. And that birthday shout out for today, September 26th, goes out to Kike Recipes' sister-in-law, Jovit Palermo, and it is her 50th birthday. So anyway, to you, Jovit, happy birthday. Let's go ahead and walk up to the second floor and take a look and see what got accomplished today in the master bathroom. So as you can see in the shower, the niches are installed. Both niches, well, the trim, the outside trim for the niches. We still have to figure out what we're gonna do for the inside right here, because I don't have any more of the travertine left over to do the wall, but we'll find something else to do for the inside, even if we have to use this tile right here, and in the back use the mosaic that we used for the floor, and what we're gonna be using for the ceiling up here. Now, that being said, I said earlier that I was kind of surprised that they didn't continue this decorative tile around this section all the way through. But I'm kind of glad, the more that I think about it, the more I'm glad that they didn't do that, because we only have this one light inside of here. Now, with this one light, and we have the beam here that we have the shower head going through, it makes it a little bit darker in this area. Now, if you put this darker tile on the side, especially around this area right here, I think what we'll do is just make it seem kind of like a dungeon. Using all this lighter color tile from floor all the way to the ceiling here, I think it will brighten up this area a little bit and just make it feel a little bit more lively. Also today, the tile adhesive was completed on the bottom of the granite for both of the vanities, for the vanity itself and the backsplash. They were both done. So these are nice, firm in place. Now I have the diamond cutter, the round circular diamond cutter for the vessel sink. I'm not sure that I have the one for the faucet that's going to go on both of these right here. But tonight I have to go down, like I said, and pick up an 1¼ inch, and that is for this area inside here. They can't put this tile up until I cut that round hole for this PPR pipe coupler right here. So I need to get that this evening. And I think the 1¼ inch might be the same size that we use for this. What I'll do is I'll verify for the faucet, I'll verify the diameter so that we make sure that we have the correct hole cutter for that as well. Now I keep asking them, do they have enough travertine pieces to finish this underneath piece here and to get this portion on the back side, the beveled section back here? And they keep telling me they do, but I counted this and it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it looks like 10. I'm going to say it looks like approximately 10 that we're going to need to complete that job. Now, I counted over here what they have left over, if I can find a, oh, down here. I counted these, and I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, we have 10. We have exactly no mistakes, no cracking, no breakage, because remember, there is no more of this. I cannot get any more of this travertine tile, so we have to be very careful with that on the completion of this section here. Are you sleeping on the job again? Hop on. Getting there, getting there. Remember, when it comes to building, patience is a virtue. Well, I believe that's it for today, folks. Although it was a short episode today, and again, because we had visitors here. And we will always accommodate our visitors here at Villa Feliz. And then the next day, hopefully we can get back on track with our building processes. So tomorrow, let's see, tomorrow is Thursday. And tomorrow I plan on, I think my first task for tomorrow, I think I'm going to work a little bit with that little table. And somebody made a comment in the comment section, and I'm guilty as charged. They're like, oh, you started the garden project, you started the table project, and there was another project that they said I started. I can't remember what the other project was. And then why don't you, I always preach that I'm task oriented and I like to complete one project before I go on to another one. And that's true, but again, the heat kind of beat me really silly over the last few days working on that raised bed garden. And I try to do that early in the morning or late in the afternoon, but early in the morning, it's kind of tough early in the morning, because when I get up, by the time I get up and fix breakfast and talk with Ness for a little while, answer your comments on the comment section, it's usually by 9 or 9:30. It's pretty late. By that time, the heat is out again. So I think I'm going to have to allow that project to be the afternoon project. Now, I did start that table project, and I want to complete that because I want to use it this weekend. So that my goal is to complete it. My plan is to work on it a lot tomorrow, and hopefully if that all goes through, I'll be successful and I will have an umbrella table for this weekend, and I'll invite a couple of people over and we'll sit in the backyard. So that should work out great. So let me close right now. I need to run over to Wilcon and get those diamond cutter blades for the project. I need to measure the faucet first before I do that, to make sure I get the right size for it to slide down. I know I have that blade somewhere. I looked all over. I looked all through my tool area and I can't find it, because I used it before where we cut the ones for the sink that's in the barbecue grill area and the sink that's inside the first floor. But I cannot for the life of me find that bit. Now, that being said, if you enjoyed today's video, please give me a thumbs up, please share, and if you have not subscribed, just click on that little My PI Dream heart in the bottom right hand side of your screen. You'll be subscribed and you'll be notified the next time I upload a new video. So until such time, you have a wonderful and blessed day.